I love rebounding. Okay. I've completed my detox to finish. Let me see. How do you get rid of the sulfur? You detox it out. That's the only thing I know is keep detoxing it out. Astringents, your fruits. I don't know how well greens work on sulfur. Most of our clients, I have to take beyond the greens to get them where they need to be, so we don't spend a lot of time with greens. But I certainly believe that it is a detoxifier of the body to a certain extent. Since I don't see very well, how do I make all the money needed to safely remove all the amalgams now? Already released by cleaning my kidneys, adrenals, lymph, then meantime rebuilding the bones with horsetail tea and exercising my jaws. Okay. You don't mention sprouts. Okay, I just did. I'll go back to the U.S. All right, B12. This is another B12 question referencing low cobalt in the soils, but you've got to consider the adrenal glands because the amount that we need of nutrients is so small, it's not even funny. And if you get more above the ground into fruitarianism, then it'll even freak you out more if you try to apply what you think are the laws that we need minerals. You know, we have a certain level in natural health where minerals are the cat's meow. I think it's a Pottinger, and all these people think the minerals are the cat's meow. Well, I don't. I think salts are, maybe. You know, when you look at biological transmutations, we left the ground a long time ago. And most of the most longevity people eat above the ground, especially that painting we were commenting on up on my shelf there, Dr. Jensen's painting of, oh, I can't ever pronounce his name, 256-year-old Chinese man. One of you guys wrote in about him. He believed in eating everything above the ground and off of the ground, and I firmly believe that. But remember, your body's a major chemical factory. Your liver's a major chemical factory, and your body's always transmutating chemistry. It is said that some modern research is showing amino acids made from glucose. So, you know, we don't know a lot. You think we know everything about the human body, and look at what the medical profession doesn't know about the lymph system, which is the dominant fluid of the human body. That's staggering. That's huge, because that's the core of all man's suffering. And there's no understanding of that system, or very little. And that's, you know, but this is true throughout the industry. We have very little understanding of the human body. I still say a lot of people are sleeping, and a lot of people think the world is still flat. Haven't woken up to more things. So I don't believe that B12 shots, none of my clients ever get these things and never have problems, and I don't believe in doing things like that. Get your adrenals back in the state of health. That's where B12 is dealt with. Let me see, I'm on the fruits I need. You asked me, this is a situation where she's saying that sleeping, when I was eating more veggies and sprouts, I managed to sleep about 6 to 7 hours a night. And this was so helpful. But now I'm on fruits, I need to sleep at least 8 hours, okay? It is because of the detox, and I've got to let it be. This durian rider, a fruitarian bicycle athlete, says he needs 12 hours. I don't know where you guys get off on that. It may be, but I can tell you, when I was a fruitarian, are you kidding, 12 hours of sleep? If I got 1, I was lucky. If I got 2 or 3, I was doing good. I was totally rested at maybe 3 hours. I don't know where you guys are coming. It might be the detox, and you haven't achieved some of this vitalness, but I can tell you, everyone I've ever taken up into the fruitarian level, totally the opposite. They sleep very little. The problem is they don't tire. They get bored quicker than they get tired. So I don't know if it's detox, and it does show weak adrenals here, because that would be the only case where you'd feel like you would need that. Of course, the thyroid's the same way. People with low thyroid sleep all the time, and this could just be a thyroid weakness that you're dealing with, because I can tell you, as a fruitarian, and this bicyclist, I don't know, as a fruitarian, you just don't get tired. I've had plenty of friends as fruitarians, and they just didn't fatigue no matter what level of exercise they did. It was amazing. So I don't know where this is coming from, you know, other than your weaknesses are exposed during detox. But if this durian fruitarian, if he's been a fruitarian for years and needs 12 hours of sleep, something's wrong there. Because I'm telling you, fruitarianism actually is the opposite. Give me time, could you tell cheap and good dentists you mentioned in Africa and Costa Rica? You know, CW is going to come back. She wants to shoot some videos on her cancer journey, but she'll tell you in Costa Rica. I'll ask her this, and she'll tell you, because she's the one. She's an international musician. She's traveled worldwide, very famous in her circles, and most people, I've corroborated the fact that Costa Rica and parts of South Africa have some considered excellent dentists. I remember when I was in Lisbon, Portugal, that the dentists in Portugal basically kind of laughed at American dentists, thinking how bad, most American dentists are. And so the Portuguese, they love everything. The Portuguese people, I love them. And I mean, look at their paperwork. I mean, the paperwork in Portugal with all the gold and all the print and the glossy. I love the paperwork in Portugal. What they offer, it's just nice. But anyway, thanks a lot, Helene, for that. I want to kind of get on down the road here. Thank all of you, Julia. This is about the horrifying S1310. I tell you what. I say if we get wind or the FDA is trying to instigate a codex on us, I say that we all start a class action lawsuit against the federal government, specifically aimed at the FDA, but because you have to sue the federal government, and let's go after them. If they think they're going to take more freedoms away, let's go after them. It's time that they get hit with a mega lawsuit. And maybe shut some of those stupid people up a little bit. Put them in their place. Because Americans have had it with our government who thinks they should control everything. You're out of here, boys. If you think you're going to pull this stuff like all the other countries, you got another thing coming. Not going to happen. There's too many of us here now. All right, Life Rejuvenator. Hey, young man, I haven't talked to you in a long time. How are you? Good to see you. Dr. Morse, can you speak about children and what your recommendations would be on the following symptoms? Chest colds, bronchitis, pneumonias, flu, urinary infections, sore throats, acute infections, ear and high fevers. You know what? I think you couldn't have asked a better question. I really loved your question, Life Rejuvenator. Superb question, because there's a lot of great mothers out there, and you've already met Tamara, and a lot of good mothers up in Pennsylvania now working with their children and the herbs, and the results they're having are incredible. I hear so much about the children we have on these programs, and it's just literally amazing what these children are doing and what they're doing academically now, and how they're growing in every way. It's amazing, some of these genetics and how we're pulling these children out of some of these genetic holes that they're in. And I just love that. I think that's our goal in the end here, because most people my age know we don't have long on the planet, and the kids are going to keep going at this level, and souls are going to bring this up. And I think, like the ripple in the water, when you throw a rock, the ripple moves out across the world. That's why it's so important that we, at this point, bring love and awareness and joy and get rid of these narcissistic, constipated, dictator-type thinkers, and start bringing, because this ripple affects all creation. And that's why we need to bring that love ripple and the light ripple and the awareness ripple and start bringing up creation, because it affects everything in creation, not just this world, not just this planet, not just this person. Children. That could be a whole separate video on itself, I can tell you. So I'm going to be talking about it, and I'm not going to, well, we'll see what time is. I've had 2 no-shows this morning, so I've got virtually all morning to be with you. Hope you can put up with me a little while. But children, very important. On your tests, I'll give you a clue. There's a protocol for a 2-year-old person. And a lot of you are so enthusiastic that you're going after this kid. You're giving them full bore. And so I did that intentionally, because it's important to understand when you work with children, the younger, the simpler the focus. So you always know through our discussions here that the primary focus in the human body is always going to be on the causative factor of all man's ills, the causative factor of why cells degrade, the causative factor to why we have mutation and genetics. And that causative factor leads you always into the lymphatic system and into the acid side of chemistry, almost always. So, when you hit that system, you're correcting the blood system already, because by changing your diet to fresh fruits and vegetables, you're going to clean up the blood. That's how beautiful the blood loves to clean itself. You'll clean the liver, you do good like this. But where the body has been dealing with elimination, we have a much more serious problem, in my opinion. The GI tract is a mess in humans. Just literally a genetic mess in humans. The kidneys are not much better. The kidneys and bladder in most people are a mess. The endocrine glands are a mess. So we're facing a lot of people's bodies in a mess, and we've got to clean up the mess. Well, going through that lymph system, going in that direction, you're touching the GI tract, you're touching the kidneys, you're touching the endocrine glands, and the lymph itself, that's always the focus. So in all children, I start out, the younger, the simpler. So I start out on the babies with lymphatic 1 liquid, kidney number 1 liquid, and parasite M. And that would be in all these cases, Life Rejuvenator, that you were asking about. That would be true in pneumonias. That would be true in cold and flu-like symptoms. What are we dealing with? And most of these symptoms you said, let's look at this. Cold and flus, bronchitis, pneumonia. What do we have here? We have a mucus condition, don't we? We have a lot of mucus in the sinuses. We have a lot of mucus in the bronchial trunks, in the wall. Notice it's clear, but what brings this out? We have the lungs are clear. Notice cold air brings out healing crisis, right? Why? Because cold is alkaline. So anything alkaline is going to be one of the triggers. Bacterial overgrowth, of course, yes, going to be a trigger. Certain things are triggers that triggers detoxification. Stress can also be a trigger. Well, the body will put you down if it has to. It cleans you out. And these are cleansing processes that children go through like adults. In all cleansing processes, there's always fevers, or should be, some degree of fever. And I've mentioned this before, but most children, they seem to like the higher fevers, 104, 105. Myself and I, adults, maybe 103 at best, mostly around 101, 100. I like 103 for children and 103 for adults. So if your child is getting a fever, you can, and it's above 103, put a little cold washcloth on the forehead or nape of the neck, or sit them in a little cool a bath or something, but you don't want to stop a fever. Why? What value? Why would the body have a fever? Why would medical doctors try to go against nature and the human body when someone has a fever? What's your largest eliminative organ you have? The largest eliminative organ you have. That's right. That's your skin. You guys are really good. That's your skin. And your skin, of course, is how whenever you're sick, you're assured of sweating. You go into fevers and sweats and stuff. Why? Your body's purging itself. You'll get more out of your body during a healing crisis or a purging than you could maybe for months on raw and on herbs. This is why you want to welcome all these healing crises. Open the door, welcome them in, because you're going to get more work done, more healing, more detoxification during these processes.